Well, hello and welcome to Writing Wednesday. I'm Coach Brenda Hare. Happy to be with you today talking about choosing your niche. And today I'm going to share with you 3 tips and then we're going to kind of discuss them, dive into them. It's probably some things that maybe you've thought about, maybe you haven't. Here's been my experience with most authors. They haven't given it a thought at all. Most people that I work with and have come across is they have a story that they want to share or an experience or a problem that they're solving and they want to put that out there in the world. They haven't given it any thought of where this book's going to end up in a bookstore or who specifically is this for. Why does any of that matter? Well, it matters a lot. And here's been my experience. Okay, so when I first started to write, I was that author. I was like, I just have a story to tell. My first book was called Save the Buttertubs: Discover Your Worth in a Disposable World, and it's the story of me discovering my worth while telling my grandmother's story of always knowing hers. And I walk you through the lies that I had to trash, the things that I needed to treasure in order to transform my life and legacy. And boy, has it transformed my life and legacy. But I walk you through that. I share my journey. And when I started with that book, I was like, who's this for? Well, I don't know. It's kind of for. And I started kind of feeling out who my person was and trying to figure it out. But it really wasn't until after that process, after the book was written and I had moved on to more of the series and more books, that I really, really honed in on who my person is and what niche I'm actually writing in. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about that today. If you're joining me live and you know your audience or you're still trying to figure it out, let me know in the comments. Give me a yay or nay, kind of let me know where you are on it so I can help you through it. Okay, so the first point here is to obviously reflect on your own expertise. So it's easier to write from things you know, right? If you were to start writing a book and you had to research every single thing about it, if you didn't know anything about it, which is really funny, if you gave me a list of topics on publishing and you're like, here's a list of 10 things I need you to touch on, I could probably talk you through. I'm on live. Got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm here at my church today. My internet's been down since Thursday. Try working from home with that. And we have a parking lot full of people, and we're trying to figure out who they are because no one's here at the church except for a couple of people serving. So anyway, if you're trying to figure out your niche and you're like, well, am I writing for these people or that, this group or that group, it can be very intimidating to figure out if you're writing for someone who you don't really know you're writing for, and same with on the subject. So going back to, if you were to give me a topic of 10 things, if you were just shoot me a list right now, if you're like, hey, I have a question on these 10 things about publishing, I could probably hit on all of them right now in this live. Maybe it would take me longer than the usual 30 minutes for Writing Wednesday, but because I am an expert in this field, and I can confidently say that because I am, that I could answer the questions. And if I didn't know the answers, I would know where to go get the answers, right? So it's going to shorten my research even more because I am so familiar with this area, which is funny. I was recently helping someone with their book, and they got a copy of their finished book, and they said to me, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's so professional. This is so much more than I was expecting. And I'm like, why was it more than you were expecting? Like, this is what I do. And they're like, I said, you've purchased all of my books. Why would you think yours would be any different? And they're like, well, we didn't realize that that's what you did. Like, your book, like, you did that. And I was like, that's what I do. This is what I do, right? So I'm living, breathing, this is what I do. I publish books professionally, and I teach you how to do the same with your book, right? And so it's just really funny, but I can honestly, like, does it feel weird, like boastful almost, to say, well, I'm an expert in the publishing industry? A little bit. But here's the fact, this is where God put me. This is where he put me. This is where he gave me the expertise. He's educated me in this area over the last, I mean, I was first called to write in 2003. So over the last 21 years, he's been educating me in this area. And here I am, right, sharing that 21 years of expertise with you guys. And so I want you to understand you don't have to have 21 years of expertise in your area. It may be something that you just experienced, but it should be something that you are comfortable talking about. It should be something that just flows from you. If you're having to just research it, like think about it. Do you guys remember when you were in school and you had to do those book reports on a book that you did not want to read? How much harder was that book report versus the book report on a book that you consumed in like 6 hours, right? You're like, oh, let me read this book. Ah, oh my gosh, write the book report, right? Because you're passionate about it and it's something that excites you. But if it's not something that excites you, it's going to be dreadful and painful to walk through, right? So you don't want that. You want it to be something that comes easy to you. Okay, let's see. We got Kim on. Thanks, Kim, for being here again this week. This is my audience is for those who struggle to see their worth and have believed the lies they have been told and don't allow them to believe God's truth. Okay, here is a coaching in your face, Kim. I'm gonna right now. And it comes from an experience I recently had with another author that I'm working with. And it's kind of where I was headed with my stuff a minute ago, but here's my question to you. Are you writing? And I think you know the answer, and I think you're already writing this way, but I want you to know, you don't always have to share this in like what you shared, because you're very clear on what the person is, right? That you're helping someone who's struggling in this area. Is your person a believer or not a believer? And some people will be like, well, they could be either. Okay, they could be, but you're going to write differently based if they are or not. And this was in my first book, right? My heart is to write to believers who are struggling, people who they believe in God, they believe in Jesus, and they may even go to church every week, but they're not getting it. They're not fully living the abundant life. That's my person, right? And then to take it further, that's my author person too, right? That person who God's nudged and said, hey, I want you to write a book, and they're walking with God and they want to be obedient in that calling, but they don't know how, right? So that takes them onto my author books, and that's sort of work I do, this work. But ultimately, it's not the lost. I am not trying to reach the lost in my work and my writing. That's not who I was called to reach. I'm called to equip the saints. You may be called to equip the saints, or you may be called as an evangelist, but there's usually a clear one or the other. And so if you can get that clear, and I think you are, you just haven't said it that way. And that's fine. You don't have to necessarily say it that way. I just want to make sure that you are. And this is why I bring this up. An author that I'm working with went to a conference where she was asked to speak. And unfortunately, at this conference, she showed up and the audience was not the audience she thought it was going to be at the event. And she hadn't really given it that thought, and she didn't know that she was equipped to handle the audience that was there, but she was equipped. It's just not her target audience. And so she was like, am I in the wrong place? Like, what am I doing? And so I want you to be that clear on it. Who are you trying to reach? What do they believe? What do they think? What do they know? In your case, do they already know God, right? And they're struggling to see their worth and understand Him, or do they not know Him at all? And that's why they're struggling so much to see their worth, because they don't know. So if you can get that crystal clear, it's going to take your expertise to the next level, because you're going to then be speaking to the right person and speaking in a language that they understand, right? We often use terms in our level of expertise, right? It's just like I could start throwing out terms right now: back cover copy, trim size, front matter, back matter. And people that aren't in this industry or haven't published a book yet, or maybe some who even have, might be going, what is she talking about, right? So as the expert, I have to realize that I'm talking to people that don't have the same expertise and don't understand, and that's my job, is to educate them and to provide the information, right? So you have to know that specifically to find your niche, okay? So researching, this is point number one, was to reflect on your expertise and to know. And it kind of jumps into point number 3, which is to define your audience. And I mean, niche it down as far as you can and define it. Know who that person is. And for those of you who haven't been following for a while, you may not know that this year, I had a different company at the beginning of this year that I do now. At the beginning of this year, I had my own author business, but I had a company called Joy of Pursuit. And in that business, we worked with small businesses, we worked with HR practices for small businesses, we worked with authors, we did this and that, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, no. I only want to do this side of the business. I only want to work with authors. And so my business partner bought out the other side of my business, which was fabulous because that was her specialty. HR is her niche. And so she took that and ran with it. And I pray she's doing great with it because we came together for a reason, and then we separated for a season and for a reason, right? Because we each had our own specialties and we needed to be focusing on them. And so you have to be willing to make those hard choices and to make those decisions and to plow it ahead, on your own within your specific niche and target audience. So you have to know. It's really hard to talk to two people on the same topic or on two different topics, right? If I'm trying to talk to authors over here and small business owners over here about HR practices, now if I was talking to small business owners about writing, same audience. But if I'm trying to talk to them about their HR practices, you probably don't care about HR practices as an author. And so it doesn't work, right? So you have to make the decision and you have to make it crystal clear who is your person, and then make it clear everywhere, across everything you do. And trust me on this. We made this decision at the end of February to separate the company, to split, and then it's been a process, right? Because we've had to untangle all the things, all the websites, all the community, all the stuff we had together. And it's all amicable, don't worry. She's happy in her HR land, and I'm very happy in my author land. But here's what's happened in my business since then. Since I rebranded under Publish and Tell, and I made it very clear that this is what I live for, to publish and tell, right? To help you publish and tell. If you're not familiar, it comes from the Psalms 96:3, publish his amazing deeds among the nations, tell everyone his glorious deeds among the nations, tell everyone about the amazing things he does. That's what I live and breathe for, to help, for me to publish my works and, not my works, his works, but publish my books, and then for me to publish your books about his works as well. And so once I got crystal clear, you guys, it's been such a blessing. Everything's been about my energy level, my focus, my client retention, my client acquisition, across the board has been so clear, right? Book sales, all of it, completely night and day than it was in February, than it was in January. And for some of you, you've been around for a while, right? You've seen me do this author thing for a while, and so you're like, what? I've known you doing this. But you don't know the internal struggle that I was living with when I had to get off the author call over here on Facebook and then jump on a HR thing over on LinkedIn. It was like, who am I today? Wait. And so you don't want that in your life. You want to be so clear. And so focus on your expertise. And then I jumped over point 2 because we're going to get to it right now. But point 3 is to know your audience. Know them, right? And so even within my audience, there's a big gamut, right? We've got the do-it-yourself authors, and then we have the people who want to just hire ghostwriters, and there's a big gamut. Now, I do work with people who want to hire ghostwriters, and I will ghostwrite, but that's not my priority. That's not my number one. My number one is you, the author who is wanting to get their book published, get their story told, and is doing it, hopefully DIYing it at home right now and actually getting the writing done. And I know for most of you who are on right now, that is you. So let's see, we got some new comments. We've got a lot of people coming on. So let me know if you're here watching. Let me know if you're actively writing, if today is a writing day for you. Okay, Kim says, good point. Yes, good point. I'm speaking to those who know Jesus, but struggling with undoing the lies from the past and walk. Yes, okay, good. So your audience in that aspect is very similar to mine. So that is good because it'll be very relatable, and I can help you with some of that as well. And you have such a built-in audience, right? Because churches are full of people like this. Is people over 50 too broad? No, people over 50 is good. That's narrowing down even more. It's my, oh, by the way, shout out to Whataburger. Since I'm working from the church this morning, had to get my Texas morning breakfast fix. And I'm drinking unsweet tea, by the way. I know, don't tell anyone I'm in Texas and I'm drinking unsweet tea. Okay, aging your audience is good. This is why aging your audience is good. People in a certain age bracket do things differently than people in a different age bracket, right? That's the general rule, right? But their finances are different, their experiences are different, their daily life is different, their shopping habits are different. I mean, you can just go down the list, right? Take, for instance, my audience is 35 to really 70. I'm working with some people who have, and I don't know how old you are, Kim. I think I might have asked you before, but I think you fall in that 30s range. We've got people who have young kids at home still. I think you have your daughter's like 12 or 13, so you've got kids at home still. And then we've got, Lisa's a good example because Lisa is in her 50s, 60s now, I think, Lisa, yes, yeah, 61, I think. I'm telling on you, Lisa, I'm sorry. But there's no shame in age here, right? Because age brings wisdom. And it's another day we're here to celebrate and give glory to God. Okay, she's got a teenager at home too, right? So, because she adopted later in life, so had her kids, did her thing. It's all on her page, God is in the details, go check it out. It's her upcoming book is going to be amazing on the same topic. When you see the gamut, right, it's people who, for me, some may have kids at home, but then I have a large number of authors who they're past that. They're empty nesters, kids are gone, they've got grown kids, they've got grandkids, and it's a whole different stage of life. Now, what's interesting in my situation, the money situation is maybe similar in some cases because when you have young kids at home, right, your focus is there and spending money on your young kids. And then when you're retired and an empty nester, sometimes your money is focused on other things as well. So knowing that, and I mean, this is getting kind of personal, right, with how I see my audience, but it's true. This is what you have to do, right? How do they consume information? Do they buy books? If they don't buy books, you got to figure out another way to reach them, right? Do they listen to audiobooks? Are they buying ebooks? Do they carry hardback books around with them everywhere they go? Like, this is why we have to know them that specifically, because if we just put out a paperback and our audience, young adults, aren't buying paperbacks in that niche because they're listening to it on Audible, why did you waste your time with the paperback, right? So knowing that clearly will help you. So for example, my first book, I published it in every way you could: hardback, with a dust jacket, without a dust jacket, paperback, Audible, you name it. That first book, I wanted it everywhere. I had a different mindset. Then as I've learned and grown, I'm like, okay, I don't need, so for example, and I wish I had my books behind me to show you, but the book called I've Been Told I Should Write a Book. It's an author reference book. It's meant to be a quick, easy focus read. It's only available in paperback. That's it, little paperback. The workbook obviously is only available in paperback. I'm bringing the audio of A Moved Soul, will be on Audible. It's a memoir. It will be on Audible. And that brings up a good point, memoir versus self-help. And while I positioned it more as a memoir, I probably should have positioned it a little bit more in the self-help area. The more we can go self-help, the better we're going to be than memoir. This is why. If you Google right now best-selling nonfiction books or best-selling fiction books, depending on your genre, just Google that, find out current best-selling books, look at what's selling. This brings us up to the point 2, which is researching your market needs. Okay, when you're researching, so if you're following my jumping around, reflect on your expertise was number 1, define your audience was number 3, but we jumped right to it, and number 2 is research your market needs. Okay, so if you go and look right now in hardcovers, nonfiction or fiction, you Google it, current best-selling titles, and look at the genres that they're in. If you just Google what's the best-selling genres right now. Let me look, I did one before we got on. These are the books that are hanging out currently on the New York Times bestsellers list. And now these books are there for many reasons, but this is interesting. So local Texas author was a self-published author originally. Colleen Hoover has spent 139 weeks with the book It Ends With Us on the bestsellers list. It is no wonder she has a movie. Okay, no wonder, right? She spent 139 weeks. How many years is that? Almost 3 years? Almost 3 years, right? 139 weeks would be 139 divided by 52 weeks. Over 2.5 years she's been on the bestsellers list. Do you think people are reading this type of book? What is this type of book? What genre does It Ends With Us fit in? Well, it's fiction, but it's almost a thriller suspense type of book, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? There's this tension, and so I hate to call it a thriller because it's not a thriller and it's thrilling because that's not the type of book it is, but it's this suspense and tension type of thing that's happening. So if you're writing fiction, that's really popular, this tension, this pull and push type of thing. I have only read one of her books, and it was that type of book, and I really enjoyed it. Oh, Kim, you look great for 42, girl. I thought you were still in your 30s. Dawn, I love it. Yes, we old people, right? We are the old people now. I'm 51 and feeling every bit of it some days, and then other days I still feel 25. It was Dawn that said, "Is people over 50 too broad?" Sorry, Dawn. Yeah, it's not too broad at all. People over 50, that's a good thing. I heard the word people was too broad. People can be too broad, but I think like in your sense, what you're niching down into, the fact that you have your age group there is good. By saying people, you're basically saying you work with men or women, and then, but if that was your only definition, Dawn, if it's only people over 50, yeah, it's too broad. You've got to narrow it down. What is it those people over 50 want? What are they doing? Are they trying to preserve a legacy? Are they trying to leave a legacy? Are they trying to get back to their roots? What are they trying? What is it those people want? And then that may help you start diving down into who that person is specifically. Kind of like what Kim had as far as her audience went. But you've got to get real specific on what it is they're doing. And here's why. And Dawn, you've had some major exposure recently. Props to Dawn. She had some major exposure. And I would think that if you look at his niche, Jack Canfield's niche, originally, that's probably a little bit of your niche too. And what that is people over 50 who are looking for some comfort, right? They're just looking for a little warm hug. They're looking for some nostalgia. They're looking for the things of comfort that they've experienced before, right? Chicken soup for the soul. I mean, that's his whole brand, right? And for those of you like, why did she go here with Jack Canfield? Dawn recently had the opportunity to be interviewed by Jack Canfield, who's a famous author. If you didn't know, he wrote all the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and created that brand. Huge deal for her to be part of that. Awesome experience, awesome opportunity. But I think if you look at the niche and you start looking into what is it that these people, why do they buy his books? What is it that they're looking for? It'll start helping you niche in. That helps you then find, first of all, it helps you write to that audience, helps you market to that audience, and it'll help you find that audience. Where are they? If you go to run a Facebook ad and you can't niche it down to anything, here's the thing. People are like, oh, on Facebook, it's so great. You can put in the demographics. Yeah, you can put in male, female, age 50, whatever. But if you can then tie in something to that. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this gold, Kim? Gold. When you get ready to run a Facebook ad for your books or for a speaking gig or a coaching or whatever it is you're going to do next, if you run a Facebook ad, you want to put in the interests K-Love Radio, because that's how you're going to get the Christian audience without, because Facebook won't let you just type in Christians. I mean, they just won't let you. So how do you find that niche? You have to find out what they're doing, what they're listening to, where are they shopping. I use Hobby Lobby, right? They're shopping at Hobby Lobby. Trust me, if they aren't Christians and don't follow that niche, they're not shopping there, okay? I'm part of some crafting groups on Facebook, and if somebody posts something about Hobby Lobby, there's a very strong group of people who don't like Hobby Lobby at all. Those aren't my people. That's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for the people who do like Hobby Lobby, right? And so when you can figure out what that is, what is your person shopping for? What are they looking for? So Dawn, yours would be, you could type in people who are interested in foreign travel, Italy. I mean, there's just so much, right, that you can hone down in on for your specific genre. And I know you're not just working with Italians, Dawn. I get it. Like, your book is for all of us to find out our heritage and our roots, right? Okay, let's say people who want to connect to their purpose, create a richer life, and well, yes, that's the subtitle to your book, which is very clear. Yes, but where are those people? Where are they? How are you going to find those specific people? Where are people who want to connect to their purpose hanging out? People who maybe they like outdoors, right? Creating a richer life. That's what that makes me think of, being active. I can see someone riding a bicycle. Did you? No, not on your first book, but I could see somebody riding a bicycle. And now this is giving me a whole new thought on your book cover. But you could totally, work with those things. What does that look like? What does it mean? Where are those people at? Are they on genealogy sites? Are they in genealogy groups? And I know you said you didn't want to go down that road, that this book is not for that, but those people are seeking this. That's why they're doing their genealogy. That's why they're wanting to look at the past. That's why they're doing that. So you might take a second glance at those people, and that may be, and if you can find some keywords to plug in, that's really going to help you on that side of things. Okay. Pastina for the soul. Yes, Pastina. No, I won't use that unless I want to possibly get sued. Won't use what? Pastina for the soul. I get it now. Okay. Yeah, we're not using that. We don't want to be sued for sure. But that is absolutely the person you're looking for. Yes, love it. Okay, great. See, now you're niching down. People who are interested in genealogy, travel, ethnic groups. And here's the thing, people who like to try ethnic food, right? People who are maybe foodies. That may be somebody who would be a great connection for you, because people who like food, people who consider themselves foodies, and I don't know if that comes up in the Facebook thing or not, but that could be people who like that, are people who like to travel. They're people who, and maybe that would be a great partnership with you for some influencers even, is to think through some foodie people, like people who travel a lot and try different types of food. They are usually interested in their heritage or the heritage of the food that they're trying, and they want a richer life, right? There's just so much there that you can work with. I was just thinking food. Yes, so good. Yes, food. That is so important, because it really is. It ties in. Yeah, it certainly ties in, and it's a comfort thing, right? And again, that's what those people are looking for: the richer life. When you think about that, think about people who, I'm thinking about people who travel and eat fancy food. For some reason, I'm thinking Eat, Pray, Love, but she didn't do that in there. She went the opposite direction. Well, she did. I think, wasn't there a scene in that movie where she had spaghetti or something, and that was the best spaghetti she ever had? She was looking for that richer life, right? So you're looking, your audience is also the Eat, Pray, Love audience. That's who you're looking for, right? That's what she was looking for in that movie. She was looking for exactly what your subtitle says. She was looking to connect to her purpose, create a richer life, and continue a legacy. The Eat, Pray, Love audience is your audience. Go research your book. That's your direct competition right there, right? Not that book's in competition anymore. I mean, I guess it still is, but go go look at that audience. Go research that book. What are the keywords? What are they saying in the reviews? What did people say in the reviews? What did they love about it? What did they hate about it? What was missing? Go look at the book reviews on that, and you'll get some great info there. Okay, let's see what other comments we have. We've got a lot of viewers, but only a couple people commenting. So let me know if you're, let me know where you're watching from. Let's just start there, because everybody has that, whether you're a writer or not. Let me know where you're watching from. And is it a nice sunny day? It's a nice sunny day here. It was so sunny yesterday that I almost got sunburnt standing outside my house for a few minutes, which is really funny. Really, really crazy. Okay, hey Deb, hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. Deb's one of our Writer Retreat Box subscribers. I'm so happy to have you here with us, Deb. And I can't wait to get some feedback on the books. She recently purchased the series I was talking about earlier, so that's exciting. Sunny in Utah as well, yay. Laura's at home here in Tyler area. Working on poetry, I hope, or at least polishing that other book. You're working on your dad's prayer book. And do you have an official name for that book yet, Laura? Because I'm curious to know what you settled on. I know we worked some great names out at the retreat, and I'm curious to know if you've settled on one. So thank you guys for commenting, and let me know who's here and who's watching from where. It's always fun to know. Hey, Michelle, or should I say Shelly, Aunt Shelly, from San Antonio. Shelly is, for those of you who are at the beach retreat, Shelly was Aunt Shelly with the children's books. Thanks for being here, and congratulations on your, I guess, second book signing. Hopefully you're off on a third. I'm excited about that. Your second one sounded like it was very interactive, so that's really fun. Congratulations on that. Always fun to see people succeeding and cheering you guys on from a distance. And I can't wait to get some information out to you. I know, Shelly, that you and your mother-in-law were both interested in the retreat coming up in January, the Vision Journal retreat. And so I will get information out to you very soon on that. Excited about that retreat. It's going to be so much fun. So, and that'll be in Comfort, Texas, for those of you who want to maybe attend that. Okay, let's see. Debbie says, I'm watching from Colorado. It was 95 on Monday, 76. Ooh. And now back, oh goodness. Colorado sounds as crazy as Texas these days. Yeah, I think we had a temperature drop today, or we're going to today, and hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, that's quite a jump, 20 degrees almost. That's crazy. Utah is doing similar. Oh, isn't that nuts? It's crazy weather patterns we're having. I'm praying for all the North Carolina peeps, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida. It's been quite a couple weeks, and they're going to get more storms at the end of this week. For those of you who don't know, that's our home away from home over in the Smoky Mountains, and it's tragic, some of the things that we've seen. Chimney Rock was one of them. We had visited there a few times, and it was very heartbreaking to see what happened to that small little town. If you've never been there, it is basically you're wedged between two mountains, and there's a river that runs between, and one side you've got a mountain with a huge rock basically dangling off I mean, it's not dangling, but it's just on top, right? It's called Chimney Rock for a reason. And my husband and I were talking about it yesterday, and he said, that they're going to rebuild because they have it's a park, right, to go to that rock. It's a park. There's an elevator to go up to the top and stairs and all this stuff. And I said, that's if it doesn't fall off first. It is on the side of a mountain where there's mudslides, and there's no telling what the topography is going to do between the last storm and the storm coming. It's just tragic, absolutely tragic what's happening over there. So prayers for those folks, and it makes our weather seem very mild, right? And the things that we're going through. It's been without internet since last Thursday. I could certainly it's going on a week now. I could be a little stir crazy, more than I already am, but it's been a reminder over the last week to be grateful that I have a home, that I have all the things in my home, I have all the people that I love, they're all safe and sound, and none of the flooding or anything like that has affected our family or our home. We do have, my husband's family's from North Carolina originally, so he has family there. We have clients and friends. In fact, Bren's in North Carolina. I've been shouting out to him, trying to find out where he is. Hopefully he's safe, one of our authors. So you guys just keep them in your prayers. But yeah, makes our weather problem seem like nothing, right? We'll take our ups and downs with the 20 degrees drop here and there. All right, Laura said she hadn't settled on a title yet. Laura, go over to the community page, our community group, and drop some suggestions in there. What are your thoughts? And get some feedback. See what's touching people. Give them a little bit of backstory about the title, about the book itself, and then put some of your titles in there and see kind of what resonates with people. You'll be surprised at what comes and what doesn't, and you'll have to be open to hearing. But ask for feedback. Don't just ask for a vote, and here's why. If you guys remember, and I don't know if Brenda's on today, if you guys remember when I was naming the Writer's Retreat box, I was thinking about naming it something about worthy Writer's Retreat box or something like that, something with the word worth in it. And she commented, I can say it out loud because she commented publicly, she would never give it a second thought because she didn't feel worthy as a writer. And it hit my heart so hard. I said, taking that word off, because that's exactly who this is for. It's for the person who doesn't, like, I'm cheering with the Writer's Retreat box, I'm cheering writers on, right? So it's for the writer who may be struggling there with the imposter syndrome and all the things that comes to us as writers. And so it's like, that title does the opposite, right? It turns the person off rather than invites them in. And so if you put it out there and ask for feedback, let people know ask them, what words resonate with you? Are there any words that you feel are redundant or overused or whatever? Ask for feedback, get it real specific. You'll be amazed at the things that will come of that. For me, I'm so thankful to Brenda for sharing that, because it really hit home and clarified it for me, like that quick. Okay, let's see. Michelle says she'll be in Katy in 2 weeks with 100. Oh, nice. Yes, she'd be so excited to hear about the retreat. Oh, yay. Okay, good. Your mother-in-law. Perfect. That's an exciting 100 other authors at that event in Katy. Awesome. Oh, look at you guys connecting. Colorado Springs connection. Oh, awesome. Loving the titles for the other books. Good, good, good. Well, let's move forward with those. If we have titles for them, let's go. And I have a poetry editor specifically if you want that type of editor. And she's really reasonable. And I just got word back from her that she's open and receiving titles now. So if you are ready to move to editing, I've got somebody for you. All right. Oh yeah, great perspective, for sure, for sure. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Let me recap the 3 tips for choosing that niche and really getting it narrowed down, okay? You wanna research, let me start from the beginning, sorry. Reflect on your expertise, right? Speak to what you know and love. Consider like what really gets you excited. Obviously, you guys can tell, publishing gets me really excited. Books get me really excited. HR stuff, not so much. And that's why it was a perfect split for us to separate our business. And so you've got to narrow it down. You've got to get true to what it is you wanted to be doing. Research market needs, investigate what's trending, maybe there's an underserved market that you could come in and serve. What is that? Who does that look like? I love Laura's poetry books because I feel like this does this in a very beautiful way, because a lot of times in poetry they can get kind of out there sometimes, and she's bringing it back to helping people see God through her poetry and seeing who they are in poetry, seeing who they are in God. So I really love that. It's I don't know that you'd necessarily define it as Christian poetry, but it's poetry from a Christian author, which I love. And then you got to define your audience, okay? You got to focus on who's going to benefit the most. Obviously, everybody who ever read your book is going to benefit, but who's going to be the single most benefited person if they read your book? Who's that going to be? And then focus on speaking to that person and watch how the other people come alongside, okay? It really does happen. You guys will be amazed. Oh, thanks, Dawn. Yeah, she's amazing, isn't she? And yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm working with her on another project right now, and the feedback that she's given, I mean, isn't she just great? The feedback that she gives on top of the editing is just amazing. So she's such a great cheerleader of all writers, which is fabulous. Okay, any other thoughts, questions? If not, let's see what today is. Today is the first Wednesday of the month. And so we will see you next week here on Writing Wednesday at 11. And then for those in the community, we'll see you for coaching after that at noon for our Q&A. And then, yeah, then we get regular schedule. I will potentially be taking some trips, or a trip. However, we were actually supposed to go to the Smoky Mountains at the end of this month, and I don't know that that's going to happen now. So we're waiting to see what this other storm does, if we're going to be able to travel into the areas that we were planning on traveling into. If not, it'll be business as usual around here. However, I usually come to you guys from vacation if for Writing Wednesdays and things like that, just because I love what I do. But I may actually take the break. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'll keep you posted. So I know you can watch the events here on the page. Check under events. I'll post them. I usually try to post them like after today. I'll post it for the next time. Sometimes I don't get to it till the morning of, like today. But thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for being here, and keep writing. Oh, and Kim, last time we talked about having a writing sprint day. And unfortunately, I don't have a Saturday this whole month free to do that. So I was actually thinking about maybe doing it on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. Well, no, it would have to be on a Tuesday or Thursday. So anybody who wants to do the writing sprint, if you're part of my community, let me know if you'd rather do Tuesday the 15th, which is Tuesday the 15th, or Thursday the 17th. Let me know if either one of those work for you. You get that, it's included in your membership. If you're not in my membership and you want to do those things, it'll probably just be like a $25 fee to join us. We go live on Zoom in the morning. We talk about what we're going to be working on, writing on, and hold each other accountable. We write for 2 hours. We come back. We give an update. It's really great because you can kind of work through what distractions, what feelings were coming up, did you make the progress you thought you were going to make? Did you make different progress? What got you stuck? All of those things. Then we go write for 2 more hours. We come back and we wrap up with another. So it's a good solid 4 hours of writing. And it's the interaction in between is what really helps you. And the fact that you have the accountability, knowing that, okay, I have to sit in this seat. I cannot be distracted right now because I have to show up in 2 hours and tell people what I did. It will change your writing time all the time once you experience that one time. So let me know which one works better for you, if a Tuesday or Thursday works better. And I apologize that I don't have a weekend free or even a Friday free this month, but then maybe in November we can certainly look at that for one of those, because I do want to do it this month, November and December, to help some people get over that hurdle for the rest of this year. Because Kim, when you think about it, this is where we were when you joined us, right? So you joined us like September, October last year, and then released your book. So you're at the same point, and so you could potentially maybe even release on the same day next year. Just make it an annual event, right? That might be kind of fun. Okay, let's see what other comments we have up, and then we're gonna wrap up. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate it so much. Debbie says Tuesday works, perfect. That's okay, either of those days work for me. The further in advance, the better for getting the day off work. Oh, you would take the day off work for me? Oh my gosh. Kim, that's awesome. I love that would work. So, yeah, let's just put it out there. I sent it to editing in January. Yes, it was September, and I sent it to editing in January. I'm doing okay with progress, but want to keep pushing forward. Yes. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. So yeah, you could send it in again in editing in January. You've got 3 months to finish writing it. I think that sounds like a new goal, Kim. What was your release date? Do you remember your release date? That sounds like a good goal. Just release on the same day. All right, so we're going to say Tuesday. We're going to say Tuesday hold on, look back. Tuesday the 15th. We're going to do Tuesday the 15th. I will send out the link, and I will send out, for those of you who are in the community, I'll send you a coupon code to register. And then for those not in the community, I will send you the payment link for the $25. So that will be awesome. And we're going to be on Zoom, so I get to see your faces. And I really want to see your faces, okay? I don't want to see screens. Sometimes I'll let y'all get away with that, but for this, when I'm just doing a teaching, I'll let you get away with a screen, like not showing your screen. But when we're doing something interactive, this is the equivalent for me, guys. This is how I feel about it. It is like you showing up into my office, wanting to talk to me, and you have a bag over your head. I don't want to talk to you with a bag on your head. I want to see your face. Especially when we're talking about all this kind of stuff. So just know that going into it, I will expect to see your face. Now, obviously we're going to turn off screen, or we're going to turn off Zoom while we're writing. So it's not going to be sitting there staring at you writing the whole time. So again, what happens is we get on first thing, we Zoom, we talk to each other, we see each other's faces, we set our accountability points, and then we get off of Zoom. Then we come back and get back on the same Zoom at 2 hours later, and so again and again, repeat, right? And so I do want to see your faces, so just know that. So yeah, we want to make sure that we can interact and actually see each other, and no judgment on your background, your home, any of that stuff. I don't care. I just want you to write and have a good time. Oh, Deb, that's not true. Not true at all. If I can get on here with all, like, I'm over it at this point, you guys. I'm over it. I have a good hair day, a bad hair day, a frizzy hair day, a no curl day, a curl day. I mean, I just commit to showing up every Wednesday. It is what it is. Hopefully you're not judging me by the way I look, and you're judging me by the expertise I'm sharing with you guys. But hopefully you're not judging me at all, but you're getting value added to your life, right? Don't even worry about those looks. You just show up. I am planning on doing it. We will start at 9 a.m. We will jump on it. Did I say 9 last time or 10? Let me do the math. We joined it, and it depends on how long the first part takes. If we have how many people, right? But it's probably will be kind of intimate, so hopefully it won't take us too long to get through the accountability part. But we usually jump on for an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and then so if we go 9, it'd be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It usually takes till 4. I'll have to put it out there. It is a full day, because by the time we meet, so we meet for an hour, we meet it from 9 to 10, then we hop on and write from 10 to noon, then we come back and do the accountability part for 30 minutes, so it's quick. It's like, what did you miss, what happened, that kind of thing. And again, if we get a really large group of people, it might take an hour, but usually it's pretty quick and we can do it in 30 minutes. Then we go back to writing, so that's 12:30, so 1:30, 2:30, and then we come back and wrap up. So if we start at 9, we'll be done by 3-ish Central Time. If we start at 10, that would push us back to 4. So you guys let me know. You want 9 or 10? You want to sleep in an extra hour, or does that work with your time zones? Because I know you guys are an hour behind me. So that would be you guys getting up at 8. So I'm fine with 10. I'm fine with starting at 10. That gives you guys starting at 9 for those of you in Mountain Time. So I'm fine with that. We can do 10 Central, and then that gives you some time. Does that work? 10 Central, and then that'll be, that works for me. Works for you guys. Okay, so I'll put it out there. I'll get that link up and get it all ready for you guys today or tomorrow, and get it out there, and we'll get it going. So mark your calendars for those of you who are interested, October 15th. And again, if you're in the community, doors are open to you. If you're in the Publishing Tell coaching community, if you're not, I will send the link out and you'll pay the $25 and be right there with us. If you're interested in joining the community, by all means, come on over. Doors are open. We have a great content library. We have coaching twice a month, and would love to have you join us. So that's all I've got for today. We've almost gone an hour. Shh, don't tell. But I've got to get off because I've got some books to help publish. So we got to get going on those. So I will see you all next Wednesday, and if not, see you an email before then, I guess. You guys take care. Have a great day. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate all of you.